this is Mark from Trouble County. I thought while I'm on lockdown I'd do a rig review. I'll start off going through my bass, my amp, speaker cab and foot pedals. So we'll go through a step at a time. So first of all, the bass, it's a Warwick Streamer. Lovely to play, lovely low action. If you can see, super low action, making it real easy to play. Twin coil pickups. I've fitted an Aguilar active system, so I get an additional bass and treble control. Also boost the gain up, which allows me to drive the effects pedal and the amp much better. For live, I use a wireless radio pack I've got in this pouch here. It's a Line 6 relay, works really well, never really had any troubles with it. In the studio, obviously, I'd always plug in direct with leads, but for live sound, this is more than adequate. So here's the amp head. It's a little Mark bass, 250 black line, costs less than 200 quid. Sounds amazing. Got gain, master, a little blue LED to show if you're clipping or not, which allows you to dial in the right level. Got fantastic tone to it. That coupled up with my pedal board and the solid state and the valve built in there, it gives me a super fat tone, which is really what I'm looking for, being part of three piece. You only got one guitar, especially on lead sections and stuff. We want to be looking to make sure that we've still got a big sound. It's got 4-band graphic controls that you can dial in there, as you'd expect, and it's got 2 filters. One is essentially like a loudness, boosts low end treble, or if you like, scoops the middle out as you dial it up. And then it has this vintage filter, which I love, which brings in a kind of low mid fatness into your tone. So I use a blend of the two to try and get the tone that I'm looking for, really. Built-in line out with DI, you can control the volume on there. Yeah, fantastic piece of kit for the money. Can't recommend them enough, really. Okay, so the speaker cab's a TC Electronic K212 2x12 cab with built-in horn. Super clean low end on it, sounds fantastic. Actually sounds better than the much bigger speaker system that I had before. Love it, super light to carry around, great tone, powerful enough for live. I'll never get anywhere near driving it to full volume with that and the amp. So yeah, great, practical, and sounds great. Great in the studio, mic'd up, sounds awesome. And then there's the effects pedals. I've gone for a multi-effects unit because I like to be able to change several things at once and don't want to be tap dancing around on stage. I don't actually use it to anywhere near its full extent. And I've coupled up Tube Screamer distortion, which I've got on the loop return or on the effects. The distortion sounds better on that than anything that's programmed into the unit, so I'll prefer to go for that. What I'll do in a minute is run through some of the effects that I'm using. I'm not going to give a full rundown on this. If you want to, you can look up a Zoom B9.1 UT. It pretty much does anything you can possibly imagine. It's got vertical and horizontal controls on there, which can be programmed to do pretty much anything. So for example, I can use volume and then I can blend in octave, low octave if I want to, or adjust the speed of delays or things like that. To be honest, I don't have time for that when I'm playing live. In the studio, tend not necessarily to use the effects pedal, but use plugins or outboard gear in the studio. Okay, it's got built-in tuner. The best thing about this is it's got a built-in valve input stage. So what you have is a blend between tube And solid state, personally I love warm tube sound. I've pretty much gone full on with the tube sound and dialed out the solid state. But if you want a clearer, crisper, cleaner kind of sound, then you can choose to do the opposite of what I've done. It really depends what your taste is. Being part of a three piece, you know, we want the bass to sound big and fill the sound up. If you're in a larger band, you might be more focused on cutting through and reinforcing low end, so you might want to do things differently. The built-in preamp has got various gain, tone controls, a bit like you'd find on an amplifier. You know, if you're recording, you can just plug this thing straight in and use the sounds off of it. It's got all the line outs and everything to allow you to do that. It's got balanced outputs on there, which are good for direct recording if you want to use it. As I said, I'm not going to go through everything in detail, so I have a few main patches set up on here. Typically just using 4 main patches for most of our stuff. Each of them has the ability to switch in and out the tuner, which is great, and then you have these 2 function buttons which can be programmed to do different things. So for example, on my main sound, I'll press the right button, which is basically a clean bass with the tone that I like dialed in. This here allows me to click in a compressor. So if I'm playing slap bass or something a bit more delicate on the bass where I need to pull it up a bit, I can click that in, and there are a selection of compressors. Personally, I use a dual band, which allows me to do the top end and low end separately. You can choose the crossover point and then the thresholds on each band, which is super flexible. The sort of thing you get on a separate pedal. And I've got another patch with chorus tones on. I've got a patch with distortion on in here, but I don't tend to use that so much since I've got the Tube Screamer on the loop. Basically the Tube Screamer is in the loop on my sounds, and I just click it on and off with the button here as and when I need to use it. And then I've got a kind of weird funk sound that I use on a couple of bits, which is in the 4th patch. I've also got the ability to click in some delay. So when you're on a specific patch, you can then click the mode button, and it allows you to add or turn off effects on that particular patch. So if I want to add delay in, I can click into the mode and then click the delay button, and it will add delay effects. So rather than talking too much now, though, what I'll do is I'll actually do a demo and run through some of the things that I can do. I'm sure that'll be more interesting. Okay, so now I'll try and demo some of this stuff. Hopefully it'll come out alright. I am only doing this on a mobile phone, so no promises. So I'll start off with the main clean sound. Nice, powerful, tight sound. And then my favourite thing for reinforcing if Jules is playing lead or something like that. So as you can see, brings in distortion, and sometimes if I'm maybe playing something with chords, I might want to use a bit of chorus. So this is very much the same sound, but gives a nice bit of resonance and a little bit more presence with the chorus. Then I do have a kind of dirty gain. which I can use as an alternative to the tube screamer. Then, if you like the funk, as you can imagine, don't really use that all the time, but super effective when you do. And then earlier on I was talking about being able to click in extra functions. So this is back to my main clean bass sound. So playing something like that, I can think, oh, you know what, I'll add some delay to that. Fills it out, makes it sound real nice. Turn that back off. And back here I was talking about the compressor. So if I play a little bit of slap without it, then turn the compressor on. What that's done is reined in the top end a little bit for me and brought the bottom end up, so it keeps the power there. Again, with perhaps something like a little bit of a busier bass line. Bring it in. It just gives it a little bit more clarity. Okay, that was my quick run through. Hope you found it useful, interesting. Got any questions, get in touch. Like and share the video. And hopefully one day we'll be back out on the road doing some gigs and you can hear it for real.